All right, and we are back with the GSMC podcast. Sorry, GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about. We had our WWE SmackDown preview. We also talked about my Thursday Night Wrestling review. Step into the world of Ring of Honor, the Ring of TNA Impact, and also we touched on a little bit of new of National Wrestling Alliance. So yeah, now we're gonna dig on to our next segment. AEW Dynamite and Collision preview. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, and concerns. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Ultimately, be a part of the show. Be part of the show. I definitely love a lot of audience engagement. The show is a hell of a lot better with you guys participating in it 1,010%. Hope you guys had an amazing week. It is Friday. Hope you guys are preparing for an awesome weekend. It is pretty hot in Southern California, so there could be a lot of things that are, you could be prepping your family for, which is pretty dope. So don't be afraid to hit up the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, and concerns about professional wrestling. So yeah, let's go ahead and dig on into this AEW Rampage. And, let's go and dig on into Rampage and Collision. All right. So obviously tonight, as well as Friday night SmackDown, you're going to have AEW Rampage. And why is it doing that? It's weird. Okay, there we go. There we go. AEW Rampage and Collision are over the weekend, but first we're going to start off with Rampage. AEW Dynamite 250. Pretty awesome. First and foremost, got to start off with, congratulating Tony Khan within this with his bookings and stuff like that. 775,000 viewers. Damn near impressive. Not, for a wrestling promotion. I feel like that's pretty good. Especially with only having like 5 years under your belt. WWE/WWF was the WWF. Like they just, years and years to build up that collateral. I like it. I like that AEW is, still in the fray, not backing down, still never calling it quits. At this point, like I mentioned before on this podcast, tons and tons and tons of times that if you're trying to compare yourself to WWE, if you think your wrestling promotion is a failure because you compare yourself to WWE, you gotta brush that off, man. Gotta brush that off because obviously WWE's been around for such a long time. It's crazy. That's like, developing like kind of like a wheat, maybe like an oats, cereal with a little bit of honey, and then comparing it to Cheerios. Although your cereal is selling pretty good, and then you're like, oh, like Cheerios is selling like crazy. My business is failing. It's not. How long has Cheerios been in the business? Am I comparing cereal to wrestling promotions? Yes. I'm just kidding. My favorite cereal is like Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch, it's kind of like the Shawn Michaels of cereal. I'm just kidding. Moving on. So we have, we saw an hour-long bout between MJF and Will Ospreay. Obviously, you kind of have to fill in that TV time. So there's no doubt in my mind that this episode of Rampage and also Collision are, they're going to be good. They're going to be good. So Rampage, we had the Lucha Brothers, Penta El Zero Miedo, and teaming up with Rey Fenix, taking on Private Party. The history between the OGs of AEW tag team wrestling. It's kind of crazy. These guys have been with each other for so damn long. So damn long, ever since their birth in 2019, which is kind of cool. I like how AEW doesn't really, when tag team wrestlers kind of come into the mix and when they jump into, singles competition, like for example, you saw Rey Fenix take on Will Ospreay for the AEW International Championship. I believe it was like a month ago. You didn't see Penta El Zero, Miedo turn his back on him. No, you didn't. You didn't see that. That's like a WWE thing. Just because somebody decides to have a singles push doesn't necessarily mean you have to ditch your tag team partner. And that's something I feel like AEW has done really, really well. Love that. Like I said, the history between, the OGs of AEW tag team wrestling. The last tag team encounter they had was just about 2 years ago, exactly. July 15th of 2022. On Rampage, you saw these 4 individuals go at it, but it was won by the Lucha Brothers, Will Penta and Phoenix, make it a third straight win against San Quinn. Should be interesting to find out. Next, we have Minoru Suzuki taking on the Butcher Suzuki challenge for the FTW Championship within Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho didn't like it because, originally, once when the Bad Apple was injured, heading toward Forbidden Door, they reached out to Suzuki to, kind of back him up a little bit. But Suzuki was like, you know what? I answered you back. Not because I want to be your friend, not because I want to tag team, not because I want to be Chris Jericho's next little branch in his learning tree. He wants that FTW championship. And, no one's more sicker, no one's more maniacal than the original badass of New Japan Professional Wrestling, Minoru Suzuki, taking on the Butcher tonight. Suzuki's looking to build up momentum and have a statement against Chris Jericho, who he challenges for the FTW Championship at Blood and Guts next Wednesday on Dynamite. We will see. I feel like there's ultimately going to be an interference. Why wouldn't there? You have the Bad Apple and also the Big Redwood, Big Bill, being barred from ringside from Chris Jericho's match against Suzuki. So you're going to see them interfere. You're going to see a beatdown. You're going to see Suzuki. I feel like right now, Chris Jericho, I feel like he can be prominent without the championship. He can be featured within the storyline without losing his FTW championship. When he won the championship, I kind of ultimately thought he was kind of like a bridge champion, maybe like a transitional champion, is someone, who's better. Recently, Ring of Honor has had that partnership created between New Japan Professional Wrestling, CMLL, Stardom, and what's the other one? Ring of Honor. So, definitely a lot of open opportunities. You saw Willow of Nightingale win the championship that Stephanie Bakure, vacated when she went for WWE. It wouldn't shock me if tonight one of the huge shocks was Chris Jericho losing the championship against Suzuki. Would kind of open things up against him, Hook, Shibata. So yeah, honestly thinking a lot of crazy stuff heading toward a Rampage tonight. Then we have the conglomeration of Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, and Tomohiro Ishii taking on the Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong, like I said, has a Ring of Honor World Championship match at Death Before Dishonor, July 26th. July 26th. I think it's next Sunday. No, next Saturday. Next Saturday. When are we going to see Adam Cole back? When are we going to see Adam Cole make his return to the Undisputed Kingdom? Obviously, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly still, he with his former running mates with the Undisputed Kingdom. Roderick Strong refuses to attack. Well, not refuses to attack Kyle O'Reilly, but like refuses to hit cheap shots because they're friends, they're boys. Like I kind of mentioned before in my last segment, the AEW Trios Championship, as well as the Ring of Honor Six-Man Championship, is absolutely up for grabs. The conglomeration could be champions. The Undisputed Kingdom could be champions, although Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, I feel like, has had their fair share, with that championship bout in Ring of Honor, but nobody really has the guts or the success to kind of take them on. So you would be kind of crazy to see what happens with that. Next, we have Chris Statlander is going to be in action ever since she turned her back on Willow of Nightingale. And since she lost to her in the Owen Hart Cup semifinals? Yeah, no, quarterfinals. Quarterfinals. Yeah, quarterfinals. So, I don't know. I like what they're doing with the Chris Statlander's character. I honestly really do like that. She has not yet really achieved like any success. Her moving on to fight Willow of Nightingale, maybe for that, CMLL championship, could possibly be a future for her. Could possibly be like a great way to put the championship on someone who, they have a feud together. More problems coming in the future, definitely. So, kind of crazy. Next, you're going to see the Learning Tree and tag team competition. Chris Jericho and Big Bill, the Big Redwood. All right, so now we're going to move on to AEW's Collision. Collision taking on, Saturday night. We have Luchador Hologram will make his debut. Darby Allin fights the Beast Mortos after being injured for 2 months. The last time you saw Darby Allin was in Anarchy in the Arena, where he was lighting Jack Perry on fire. being held upside down, being super kicked to death from cleats, from thumbtacks, on the heels of Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Kind of crazy. In an interview, Darby Allin said he was super excited, super stoked to come back to AEW. He has a whole bunch of, he has a lot of plans within the company, with a lot of plans that's going to shake things up a little bit. And he said what he has in store is sick as fudge. So it should be pretty interesting. Next, you're going to see the Patriarchy taking on the Bang Bang Gang. Christian Cage, Kill Switch, and Nick Wayne taking on the Guns and Juice Robinson after Switchblade Jay White was injured. Ultimately, the Bang Bang Gang was told to forfeit their unified tag team championships. It was, it was kind of a doozy. They've had the trios and the six-man tag team championship for so damn long, absolutely so damn long. So, kind of seeing this news come out, it's a little shocking. It was a little upsetting. I still feel like ultimately you still see the Patriarchy, you still see the Bang Bang Gang, possible, trios championships heading forward. I got a chat from Lowly Cute. Hi. Hope you're having a great night. Hope you're getting ready for a great weekend. Hope you had a good week. Enjoying your Friday, of course. Keep hitting up that chat link, talking about professional wrestling. And next we have Deonna Purrazzo taking on Thunder Rosa in a lumberjack match. For one, I'm totally super stoked to see how this kind of unfolds. I love lumberjack matches. Obviously, I anticipate it's going to be full of AEW women's superstars. But Thunder Rosa, man, Thunder Rosa plays by nobody else's rules but her own. She really hasn't been featured on Dynamite for a little while. She's been featured on Collision, holding up that women's brand on both Collision and Rampage. So definitely got to pay respects to that. Next, we have Sky Blue versus the three-time AEW Women's World Champion Hikaru Shida. A lot of great matches tonight. A lot, on Saturday on Collision, a lot of great matches heading toward Rampage. So yeah. Well, guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to move on into our fourth segment. We're going to talk about AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery finally hit an agreement. I feel like they've hit an agreement. And yeah, we're going to talk about that. So, hey, do not go anywhere.